Once upon a time, the question of whether AI could ever achieve consciousness was mostly reserved for science fiction, but over the past few years, it's transformed into a genuine concern. Everyone from scientists and tech gurus to government figures has weighed in on the issue, arguing that it must be taken seriously because real steps may be needed to prevent or regulate AI consciousness. And, due to frequent media attention, the public is increasingly seeing the possibility of AI consciousness as a potentially existential threat. Breakthroughs in computer science have significantly improved the performance of AI tools, such that they blur the line between a computer program and a thinking being. For instance, large language models, or LLMs, like ChatGPT, can sometimes appear to be conscious to such an extent that people form emotional bonds with them. Chatbots have advanced so much that they are unrecognizable from early iterations. The only problem is, what they offer isn't always good advice. AI hallucinations gave rise to a bizarre range of answers to serious questions when it was first rolled out on Google. Each AI developer uses their own approach, meaning not all AI companions generate by the same rules. Without the interventions that enable living humans to give each other the advice we need, rather than what we want to hear, it's led to dangerous side effects. A new kind of psychosis has been attributed to AI, and in at least one case, a virtual companion actually encouraged an assassination attempt on the Queen of England. Some have suggested that requiring AI chatbots to deliver regular or constant reminders that they're not human could be an effective intervention. But reminding someone who's come to rely on a chatbot that they are not human may push them into what's known as the bittersweet paradox of emotional connection with AI. This describes how someone may feel supported by a chatbot while simultaneously saddened by the fact they aren't real. There's a fine balance to be found in giving an individual gentle reminders of how a chatbot isn't real, but not too many so as to protect the individual's mental health. But despite the pervasive power LLMs have to imitate consciousness, it is largely agreed on that it is just that, an imitation. Regardless, authorities are increasingly calling for robust tests to measure or detect artificial consciousness. At the same time, science has made considerable strides in the development of tools that can measure consciousness. There are AI advocates who believe machines could achieve consciousness based on software patterns, and there are others who are more skeptical, who believe consciousness can only be made up of organic molecules. According to Tom McClelland, a University of Cambridge philosopher, neither can offer us an answer. He believes AI advocates and skeptics are both guessing, and the only position we can reasonably take is an agnostic one. He said, "Without a deep explanation of consciousness, efforts to assess the likelihood of artificial consciousness hit an epistemic wall. Widespread claims to offer science-based tests for artificial consciousness are thus overstated." According to McClelland, our ignorance concerning consciousness has wider implications. It creates a unique moral quandary for future developments. This problem essentially comes down to the link between consciousness and sentience. For example, a self-driving car could be said to have a form of consciousness because it has awareness of the world around it in relation to itself, despite it having no thoughts on the destination. If we class this as consciousness, it isn't a consciousness we need to be morally concerned with, as it's extremely limited. In contrast, if something can be said to have sentience, the ability to feel pleasure or pain, it enters into our moral sphere because it's capable of suffering. Going back to our self-driving car, we may recognize this as a form of mechanical consciousness, but it would be a significant leap to say that it's sentient. Tech companies are in a perfect position to capitalize on the ambiguities surrounding AI consciousness to promote the next generation of AI products. However, that could easily present us with a situation where we allocate empathetic resources to the wrong thing, such as a machine, while neglecting things that we do recognize as sentient, such as animals. This is already proving to be true, as we spend huge amounts of money debating AI consciousness while we seemingly ignore the proven suffering of organic species in the world today.